And welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It is the week of the 12th. Last week, you remember, we spent a little time, and we're going to spend more time for the next couple of weeks looking at how did these great agents become so good at what they do. And I did a lot of research on this. I talk to these people all the time. We're talking about people that do 100, 200, 300 transactions a year, which for most of us, it's almost hard to conceive people can do that much business. But the truth is, there's a lot of people that do that much business. We have over 1,000 clients today doing in excess of 100 transactions a year without teams. Their team, and I said this last week, would consist of an assistant or two, most of the time two, and probably a buyer's agent, which is a showing agent to handle the sign calls, etc., from all the listings they take. So we're going to continue. We covered 4 points last week. We'll cover 4 or 5 more this week. We'll cover more for the next couple of weeks. I think you're going to find this short 4-week series very fascinating. And if you're watching, you'll find it very interesting. Okay, here's point number 5 of these 20 points, okay? It doesn't matter. Key words. It doesn't matter whether the economy is going up, going down, or flat. It doesn't matter the time of year. It doesn't matter the type of homes in the neighborhood or what type of economy you're dealing with. The price and the motivation are the key issues to getting a property sold, period. Now, I want you to think about that, okay? You and I both know that if you're buying something for yourself, you're going to look at the quality of the product, depending on what you're trying to buy, the service you're going to get when you pay money for that product or service, and you're going to look, of course, at the price. It's called human nature. Well, your sellers are always going to be looking at a price that is a little bit higher than what you anticipate or expect. How often does the seller say to you, okay, here's the catch. I want you to list my property, but I want you to go 10% below fair market value. It might happen once in your lifetime if you're lucky. So I want to read this back to you, okay? It doesn't matter whether the economy is going up or down. It doesn't matter the time of year it is, the middle of the winter, which it is today, okay? It doesn't matter the type of home or the neighborhood you're working in. The price and motivation are the key issues in getting a listing sold. Desperate agents, not you. Desperate agents take overpriced listings at low commissions from non-motivated sellers. Look at those 3 issues, okay? A desperate agent, not you, your competition. The desperate agent is going to take an overpriced listing. We see it every day. They're going to take it at a very low commission from a non-motivated seller, which I wrote, this is the fastest strategy to get yourself out of the business. Or the little expression I came up with 4 or 5 years ago for agents, I said, okay, here's your new script. Would you like a fry with your hamburger, ma'am? Okay, because see, if you're not going to understand the basic process of listing property, which is price and motivation, and you're going to get caught up in the overpricing, low commission, non-motivated seller issues, which agents do, it's only a matter of time before your business is going to suffer if it's not already suffering. So point number 5 that all these top agents follow so carefully is very critical to yours and my success. All right, now watch point number 6. We know, and you know this for a fact, that buyers and sellers many times do not want to hear the truth regarding price. And whether it be a saleable listing or non-saleable listing, they don't want to hear the truth. However, the client deserves the absolute truth during the presentation. And then I wrote down a question. Are you willing to tell them the truth? It's probably the hardest part of our business. Why is it so hard? Because maybe we're not sophisticated enough. Maybe we're not trained well enough. Maybe we don't have the scripts and the confidence. Or maybe the competition you have is overpricing everything and lying all the time. And to get into the market, to get a contact, to get a listing, you fudge on the price. Well, nobody wins in that deal. Watch, the stronger you are on price, the faster it sells, the happier the seller is every time. The faster the seller gets to move, the more commissions you earn. However, if you're so desperate, which you cannot be desperate, the last point, and you start saying to yourself, well, I'm just going to fudge a little bit on the price. I'm not going to lie to them, but you know, they're saying they want $275 and I know it's worth $250, but maybe if I just tell them I can get them $285, I can get the listing. Well, anybody can get anything if you are going to overprice it or you cut the commission low enough. Or think about buying something. You say, okay, the pen here in the store is 39 cents. And the store says, but if you'll buy 5 of them, I'll give you for a penny each. You'll buy 5, okay? Well, here's what I want you to think about. Price is always a key factor in the purchase or sale of anything. The agent, you and I, that are willing to tell them the absolute, complete truth right up front are the ones that are going to have the most success in working with sellers. Point number 7 out of these 20 points. This is a hard one. We have to understand, okay, now listen carefully, understand, and then believe that listing property is a direct sales process. A direct sales process. Now, there's 2 kinds of sales. I've said it before, retail and direct sale. Retail, they come to you. Direct sale, you go find them. Whether you like to believe it or not, real estate is a direct sales business, period. If you're not willing to go out and find people to buy and sell, you're never going to do a lot of business. So we have to understand and believe that selling and listing real estate is a direct sales process. And since direct sales revolves around a strong presentation that is based on good, solid questions, we have to move away from, now listen, move away from telling-oriented presentations, which we use, to a question-based sales presentation. The primary reason people sign contracts with other salespeople, I should have said the primary reason why people sign contracts with salespeople is because of the quality of the presentation. Okay, how good is your listing presentation? How good is your presentation when negotiating a contract? How good is your presentation of a house when showing property? It's a direct sales process, and in direct sales we ask a lot of questions. And if you go through the scripts we have, and I know you have, 5% of our scripts are just questions you're going to be asking that potential prospect, because the questions we ask trigger in them an emotional response where you're going to learn about them, what they're trying to accomplish, what they're trying to do, and if what you're doing is on track with them. Direct sales. We're not sitting in the office. People are not lining up coming in and buying homes. Direct sales. We're not sitting in the office and people are saying, would you please come list my property? Direct sales, we have to go find them. Now, I don't know why, and I wish I did. Our industry does not tell you this simple fact when you get your license. We're in a direct sales business. You have to learn how to go talk to people. You have to learn how to go find people. You have to learn how to ask questions of people if you're going to survive. Critical, point number 7. Point number 8. If by chance, and I wrote it that way, if by chance you take an overpriced listing, create a price reduction strategy that will begin 7 days from the date the contract is signed. Okay, you're going to take an overpriced listing. It's called human nature. Okay, do you have a strategy in place? Do you have a system in place? Do you have a plan in place where you say, okay, 7 days from now, I'm going to go back to the seller. Okay, and I'll give you an example of a price reduction strategy. You go to the seller on that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th day at the most. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I owe you an apology. They go, why? Well, you see, I was not strong enough in my presentation regarding your price. I let you convince me or sell me on your price instead of me convincing you on my price. And you can see after the first 7 to 8 days of being for sale, the public isn't buying your price. What would you like to do about it? Okay? Watch an example. I made a terrible mistake when pricing your property. See, these kinds of thoughts get that seller to say, wait a minute. Because see, the truth is, an overpriced listing is rarely initiated by the agent. An overpriced listing is almost always initiated by the seller. Now, let's be honest. Okay, you own a home, you own a condo. Do you believe that your property is better or worse than your competition, your neighbor's homes? In every case, we're going to say better. But Mike, you know, I've done this and I've done that and we remodeled this and ours really is nicer. I understand. Does that make it worth a lot more money? In most cases, the answer is no. All right, let's go to number 9, okay? I've only been talking about this for 42 years. I take that back. It's 41 years and about 7 or 8 months, okay, that I've been talking about this. All the great agents have committed to prospecting a minimum of 2 hours a day. And in most cases, they're going to talk to 15 to 20 good quality contacts in an average day. Now, if you're not already doing this, you got to start. Then be sure, as all great agents do, to track your numbers carefully to determine your levels of efficiency. How efficient are you? All right, people ask me all the time. In fact, you like this. Last week on Friday, I went to our prospecting clinic here in Las Vegas. We had about 25, 30 really great agents working for 2 days, 7 hours a day prospecting set appointments, and they set a ton of appointments, okay? So here's what I say to them all the time. Anybody that's going to be good is going to be efficient. To be efficient, you have to practice all the time. If you're going to practice, you have to have good scripts. If you have good scripts, you have to use them on somebody, which would be, of course, a prospect that you're going to call. Well, when I said this, one of the people in our prospecting clinic raised their hand. Okay, who should I be calling if I'm going to make 30 contacts a day? I said 5 to 6 people in your database, past client centers of influence. Those are warm calls. 5 to 6 for sale by enters and expireds. Those are hard calls, but critically important calls. Then 15 to 20 just listed, just sold around either your listings and sales or somebody in your company's listings and sales, and you're going to make 25 to 30 contacts a day. You do that every day with a smile on your face, a little energy, a little enthusiasm. Guess what? You're going to win the game all the time. And you can't lose the game if you take that kind of an approach. I said to you we're going to have 4 weeks, we're on week number 2, of what all these superstars are doing to do this incredible amounts of business. Now you're going to say to me, Mike, some of these things I quite honestly would never do. And I understand that you'll never do them. But let me ask you this question. Is what you're doing each day getting you the results you want? And if you are getting the results you want, could you get better results than you're getting? And if the answer is yes, let us help you take you to that next level, whatever it may be. Don't let that glass ceiling, okay, which you can't see, but it hurts when you hit it, stop you from getting to where you want to go. Learn what other successful people do. Do what they do to the best of your ability and skill. Spend the time long-term understanding the process, using it, and you win. All right, we'll continue next week. Thanks for today.